Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Jasmitha. Today I'm going to share with you a beginner-friendly, in-depth, like peachy, glittery kind of makeup. I'll just show you step by step what I do from beginning to end. First thing you gotta do is wash your face. I use the Himalaya Neem face wash. That is from the Indian grocery store. After I wash my face, I don't use a towel to dry my face. I just use a paper towel. I just rip one of the rectangles in half and just like dab the moisture from my skin. Honestly, I would recommend you to stop using face towels. If you have a towel that you use for your body and your face, please don't do that. If you have a towel just for your face, don't do that either. It's just not as sanitary, so I'd recommend, if you have time, just let it air dry. Your face doesn't have to be super dry before you start putting makeup on, because you can even put your moisturizer and all of like your sunscreen or stuff like that even when your face is kind of damp. But let it air dry if you can, and if you can't, just use the paper towel. I just like to keep the paper towel next to me just in case I need to wipe off my makeup brushes or any tools or anything that I use while I do my makeup. Just tap your face dry. I've already washed my face, and I'm going to start with moisturizer. So I use Olay, and it has SPF 15 in it, but I use the one that's for normal skin. But I have like normal to dry skin, so I use about this much. Then I use sunscreen. I'm using Supergood Jouez, and it's SPF 50. I actually bought this last year. I really like it, and it's perfect for, like, this sunscreen is meant to be used under your makeup. I think I read somewhere you need this much, two fingers worth of sunscreen. And same thing, I'm just going to apply that everywhere. I don't know if you're supposed to avoid your eye area with this, but I don't. I just put it on my eye as well. Please wear sunscreen every day, even if you're not going anywhere. It's really important. Like if you're sitting next to a window a lot, or you get a lot of sunlight in your house, you definitely need to wear sunscreen. I just like to wait a little bit for this to kind of absorb in before I start. I'm gonna use Smashbox, the Photo Finish Smooth and Blur. This is good. This is actually really long lasting. Try to blend your primer in every direction, like up, down, just so that you can make sure that all of your pores are filled and filled up all the way. Next thing I'm gonna do is my foundation. I use Maybelline Fit Me Matte+Poreless. About this much is what I'm gonna use, and I'm just gonna spread it so it doesn't drip everywhere. I actually prefer to use these types of sponges. I do wet it before I use it. I don't like using makeup sponges in general because you have to clean them, right? And no matter how much I clean them, I don't ever feel like it's fully clean. This I bought in a pack of like 200 online, and I'll just use them up to maybe 5 times and then throw it away. I recommend this. It actually works really well. Just start with thin layers. You can always add more later on. And if you're using a sponge, don't swipe it. You just tap it on your face. I have some like red spots here, so I'm just gonna use some more, just a tiny bit more foundation, and then blend it with my finger. I also do apply my foundation below my eyes as well, like before I put concealer. I would recommend this because you don't want to just use concealer. If you have 2 different shades of concealer, you can. Like if you have one that's your skin color, and then you have one that's lighter for the actual concealer, use the skin color one to cover up your red spots or pimples or anything, but don't just use the lighter one because it'll emphasize it way more. I just use a little bit under my eye. I'm using Maybelline Fit Me concealer as well. So here, and I like to do it in the outer corner as well. I don't do the triangle. No, I've never done that. And then just a little bit on my nose, on my forehead, like in this type of shape. Here I'm just placing, here and here, I'm just placing the concealer because I'm just using it more as like a highlighting purpose rather than actually like concealing anything. Don't move it too much because like this area and here too, I'm also highlighting that area. So if I move it and blend it around too much, the right place won't be brightened. It'll just be like very diffused. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more. I don't like to do the under eye triangle with my concealer just because I feel like it's a little too much for me. I'd rather use like less concealer that's high coverage and just dot it here and here. I take photos a lot, and if you do the triangle, it'll look really obvious in photos. I'm going to do cream bronzer. I'm using the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer in the color Honey Drip, which isn't that much darker than my face. I'm just taking it on a flat brush and starting like here as well. But make sure you also get this area, like you don't want there to be a separation here. I also like to get this too. I also like to put it here. And just a little bit on the sides of my nose, just a little, even the top of it as well, because this isn't contour, this is bronzer, so you can put it a little bit like on your cheekbone or like just under it, because the purpose of like a bronzer is it's meant to be like a warmer brown, almost making it look like you have a little bit of a tan, or like it makes your face look a little bit more 3D. We pretty much just use makeup to make our faces look more three-dimensional, which is why, you know, you use lighter colors in the middle, darker colors around the edges. Remember that whatever you want to push back, you're gonna use a darker color on there, and whatever you want to highlight, you're gonna use a lighter color, or like not just a light color, but also a shimmery texture. You can also do that, which is why you place like highlighter at the top of your cheekbones. You want that area to be highlighted, and darker colors here, because overall when you look from the front it makes your face look a bit slimmer. I'm gonna do liquid blush. It's e.l.f. Halo Glow in Rosé You Slay. I prefer to put my blush like out here and then blend it with a brush. If you're not sure whether your cream blush is too pigmented or if it'll dry too quickly, just try one side first, because you don't want to dot it here and here and this side's dry by the time you're done here. So going to blend like upwards and outwards a little bit more. Same thing on this side. I was gonna say I like to put my blush like in other places on my face as well, just very slightly, just because if you only have the pink color here, or whatever color you're using, if you only have it here, your face might not look so cohesive and it might look a little weird and out of place. So try to put your blush on your chin, your nose, and above each of your eyebrows, just a tiny bit, and the tone, like the overall color of your face, will look a little bit more cohesive. I'm placing the leftover blush here, my chin. I'm just doing a tiny bit of eyeshadow primer. This is essential. Like this is a step that I can never ever skip, just because my eyeshadows do crease after some time. You can also put this eyeshadow primer like underneath your under eye concealer as well. That'll also work really well. But definitely, if you don't have to use a face primer every time, but definitely always use an eyeshadow primer. I use the e.l.f. one. I'm just going to blend with my finger. Blend it actually quite quickly, because this will dry down pretty fast. I'm gonna take my e.l.f. Halo Glow powder on a puff. So you want to make sure it's as like evenly as you can. And before all of these things, pick up your powder and then blend away the creases and powder immediately. This is how I always powder. It does prevent creasing a little bit. Not, you know, your under eyes are gonna crease a little bit because you have creases there. So it might prevent, this will prevent like the makeup from getting into it for, at least for now. I always like to pick up the powder, blend the makeup creases, and then immediately powder. If you blend the creases, then pick up the powder and then do it, you might, you know, look up and down, and that'll create more creases by the time you set it. So you definitely want to try, don't set your makeup creases, just try to blend them right before you set. So my under eyes are set. I use also a small amount of this powder with a puff on the rest of my face too, just a little bit. And I'm also going to use another powder as well. This is a loose powder that I'm using right now. I'm gonna use a pressed powder next. With this, I don't really try to make it that even because I'm gonna brush away the excess powder in the end with like a powder brush. So I'm not too worried about it, honestly. So you can see there are some areas that are a little bit uneven, but I'm going to use my second powder now, which is it's Covergirl. It's just called Covergirl Clean, and I'm using the color 105 Ivory. So with this, I just take a big powder brush like this and just swirl it in there and just dust it on my face. I did this a lot in the summer. I use two powders just because, you know, I need my makeup to last as long as I can. When you swipe it, it gets rid of any like unevenness that you had from your previous powder. You don't have to use two. This is just what I prefer. I'm using the e.l.f. Matte for Mattes eyeshadow palette, this one, for my eyebrows, and I always use these two colors right here. I mostly like to use this one, just this one a little bit. My eyebrows are kind of thick, but I just like to fill in like some spaces here. Plus, when you're doing a dramatic makeup look, you definitely should fill in your brows, because just to darken them a bit so it matches like the level of drama that the rest of your face will bring, you know? I'm actually not even being too precise with this, just roughly like putting it on, because I'm not trying to make it look super dark or anything. I usually never do that. By the way, I'm using like a thicker like angled brush like this. This is like actually meant for your eyebrows. I didn't buy my brushes individually. I bought them in like sets. I just bought like a Jouez set a couple years, or no, almost like 10 years ago. And then a couple years ago I bought this set that's like orange, this orange one. I wouldn't recommend buying them one by one. Just get a set. I just like to use my spoolie, brush them up whatever direction, and then just lay them in the direction you want to go, which is mostly going to be upwards and outwards. So I am using eyeshadow for my eyebrows. I always have, just because I feel like I don't really need to use a lot for my eyebrows anyway. But I do like to use a gel because my eyebrow hairs are quite long and I want them to like be laid down in a certain way all day, which for that I use Kosas Air Brow. So I do the same thing, upwards and outwards. This is a good brow gel. I really like it. I personally like the crunchy feeling of brow gels because I know that it's gonna hold. So I don't mind when the brow gel is crunchy. If you don't like that, then you might not like that gel. Throughout the time I've been doing my makeup so far, I have been using the paper towel that I was telling you earlier. I just like to wipe my brushes in it, or sometimes, especially with eyeshadow, I like to use this brush. I don't know what it's called. I'm so sorry. I really like this brush. It's just shaped like this and it's not too dense. It's like very fluffy. So I will mostly just use this one brush and I'll just wipe it off every time I need to use a different color. So I'm using ABH Soft Glam. I know everyone loves this palette, and since I'm gonna do like a peachy kind of look, I'm gonna start with like a brown and orange mixed together. I'm gonna take the color Burnt Orange and Rustic from the palette. I'm just gonna tap in both. Definitely tap your brush off. I'm going to start by placing it in the crease. The crease is just that hollow area above your eyelid, below your brow bone, which is this flat area up here. So just place the color there. You're gonna want to place a darker color in your crease in general. It's like contouring your eye. Like if you place a darker color there, you're pushing it back a little bit and it makes your eyes look more deep set, or it just adds a little bit of definition because there's already naturally a shadow there. I also like to take this same brush with that color and I go upwards and outwards like this, almost like I'm drawing a wing there, just because it acts as a guideline. I don't like to place my eyeshadow further than that. If you do, it will look like really really dramatic, and not dramatic in like a party makeup, dramatic in kind of like an editorial or like a costume kind of way. So just watch out for that. Don't place your eyeshadow like too high, too low, too much to the left and right, because it can make your face look very overwhelmed quite quickly. Just hold your brush diagonally like this and just place the color down and move towards your lash line, and it will be easier for you to make that guideline. So you can add the same color as your crease in that guideline. I'm also adding that on my lower lash line, just the full thing. When I look forward like this, you can see like this eye looks a little bit more defined than this one. I'm adding just the orange color a little bit above where we put the orange and brown, just so it looks like that brown is blending and becoming lighter into that orange color. I got this palette recently. It's very beautiful. This is the peach I'm gonna use, the one in the middle bottom row. And you don't have to use this peach color. You can use any eyeshadow you want. It actually doesn't even have to be peach, you know, because my personal strategy with makeup is I don't really look at makeup like this is the makeup look. Like when I watch someone's makeup video, I don't look at it and think like this is a makeup look. I think of it more like a makeup formula that you can add steps to it. You can take steps out that you don't feel apply to you. You can create this exact same makeup in a different color story, in a different like texture. You can use just matte eyeshadows. You can use just shimmer. You can use more glitter that I'm using, or you can do everything I'm doing but just take out the glitter. So there's lots of room for you to tweak this into whatever you want, because let's say you don't like peach eyeshadow, or you don't like peach, or you don't like wearing peach in your makeup, then you can do it with green or purple or blue, whatever you want. What I'm gonna do is I have a darker color in the crease, a medium color on the lid, and I'm gonna do accents with lighter colors. You can take that exact same formula and change the colors to whatever you want. You can do dark blue in the crease, medium blue on the lid, and then light blue for the glitter or the shimmer that I'm gonna do later. But overall, you don't have to do the same look as me, I guess, even if you are following this video. But that's how I always do my makeup. If you're a beginner and you don't know how to do a lot of different makeup looks, you can just learn one, remove some steps, add some steps, do it in different color stories, do it in different textures, and it'll look like you know how to do like 10 different makeup looks. I'm just blending the crease and the lid color so that it doesn't look too much like a separation, but with that you might blend away some of the color, so you're definitely gonna have to add some back on. This is such a beautiful color. I really like it. Make sure you get in this corner as well when you blend. So now I've blended the color on the crease and the lids. I'm gonna add that same peach on my lower lashes as well. And I'm still using the same brush this whole time. If you just want to leave it like this, you totally can, but I'm gonna add a little bit of glitter to my look. I'm gonna use Lottie London. This is the highlight in the Rosé Champagne. I'm gonna use a brush and just pick up a lot of it, like a lot. Tap it off just a bit and apply that on my entire upper lid. I'm even getting it in the crease. Like, I used to use a lot of shimmer eyeshadow even in the crease. I don't think that that's necessarily bad for you to do. I think it looks beautiful. You should definitely try it. Now, as you can see, I've got like a light shimmer on my upper eyelids. I'm gonna add the pink shimmer from the Pat McGrath palette right at the center of the lid. Again, it'll look like a highlight, like a high point on your eyes. That will make your eyes look more like open and shiny. I'm just gonna apply a little bit and then blend it with like a clean finger. I don't recommend using a brush for this. Just in general, just for shimmer shadows, just use your finger. Oh my, this is my first time using this color. This is so amazing. So you can see the glitter in the middle of the eye. This is probably the best way you can layer your glitter. Start with a shimmer, then your glitter, then your chunkier glitter. I'm using a Colourpop highlighter for the inner corner. It's like a very bright white color, which is what I really like about this. It's a super shock shadow. This is the highlighter I've been using for so many years, and I've barely made a dent in this product. Like, look at this. That's amazing. I like to put my shimmer in the inner corner and also extend it slightly into this little line, like this little area right here, and just lightly extend it upwards, but really blend that because it'll kind of it'll look really white next to your eyeshadow. If you want, for sure, you can do that, but I like the emphasis more to be down here. I'm going to place the first color from the Pat McGrath palette that I have. For the lower lash line, I'm gonna place like a yellow, or sorry, gold glitter. I don't have a gold glitter, so instead I'm gonna use a gold pigment. This is also from Colourpop. This is the KathleenLights and Colourpop Zodiac pigment, so there's 12 of them in total. And one of them is this gold one. It's called the Lion. Pigments usually come with this type of stopper right here because it's a loose powder, as you can see. You're either gonna want to use like MAC Fix Plus or like a mixing medium because they're a loose powder and you don't want them to get everywhere, right? Or you can even use glitter glue, like from NYX. You can use NYX glitter glue if you want the look to be very like intense and very glittery, but I'm just gonna use Fix Plus. Just spray a little bit on your finger and then pick it up from the stopper. You can see the shimmer right here. And I'm going to place it all along the lower lash line. Let's move back to the face just for a little while. For bronzer, I'm using the Marcelle Eye Bronze Matte. And this is I think this is the darkest color I could find in the store. I got this at like a discount beauty warehouse sale, and I'm using the color dark bronze. This is darker than the bronzer I used to use, which was the Physicians Formula butter bronzer, the one that's like kind of wavy and it smells like coconut. That was good, but I prefer this one because it's a lot darker. This is by Real Techniques. This is the multitask brush. I'm gonna pick up a lot, and again, just like with the cream bronzer, just start a little bit here. I'm not gonna add too much once again, just tapping it on or like just gently swiping it on. Connect it so that you don't want like a separation, just because you want the darker space on your skin to be like evenly dark without any separation. So I'm gonna put some here and then on my jaw. Sometimes I like to put it on my neck as well so that the color looks like it's continuing downwards. I'm also gonna put it on my nose like I did earlier, so just on the sides and a little bit on top. For blush, I'm using Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush in number 5 Pretty Peach. This is one of my favorite colors, and it's perfect for this eye look because it's a very peachy blush. So this also I like to pick up a lot. I like a lot of blush. I know a lot of people say that. Again, I like to focus it like upwards and outwards. A lot of people I've seen place blush like even down here, but it really just depends on your face shape or what kind of look you're going for. So this, I feel it suits my face the best. So some on my chin, nose, and above each eyebrow. For highlighter, I'm going to use what I used earlier, which is Flexitarian by Colourpop, the first shade I use on my inner corner. I like to use my finger for this. I've tried it with a brush and it doesn't really work that well. So down my nose. I really love this color combination. Peach, rose gold, white, gold. Oh, wow, that's very shimmery. And some on my forehead. Yeah, this color combination, as I was saying, is so beautiful. I need to do my makeup more in this color. I'm the type of person that doesn't do the same makeup at least twice in a row. I get bored really easily, so I tend to do a different makeup every time I do my makeup. So again, these are areas that you're bringing forward with a light color and specifically a shimmery color. Here, here. I like to place it here as well, so that it's connected to my cheekbone highlight. Forgot to mention earlier, I placed it above here as well. And in your brow bone, that's very important. It really completes every single eye look that you do. I don't mind putting glitter everywhere. I personally like glitter that much. Like, I will put it everywhere. I'll even put it in my hair. I don't really mind. When I really want to look very shimmery, I will even layer my highlights. So I use Flexitarian by Colourpop. Now I'm going to use Maybelline Masterchrome in 50 Rose Gold Molten. So for this, since it's a powder, I'm just going to use a brush. I like to highlight the side as well, because when you look at me from the side, you can see this area is very shiny. The shinier the better. Always has been. I don't apply too much of this because I already applied the other highlight, but I am like dipping in at every step that I do. Also, this is a great way for your highlighter to last a long time. If you're going to a party or something, or if you're going somewhere that lasts the whole day, you should do this. Now, if you really want glitter, I'm gonna use the same Lottie London highlight that I used earlier and place the glitter here. It's very fine. It's more so noticeable in real life. I just love doing that. I know it's not for everyone. People, I don't know if everyone likes this type of highlight, but it's just something I can't skip. I actually really love these highlights. I have all three of them. I have the rose gold one, the gold one, and the white one. It's more white, not silver. Back to the eyes, I'm just going to add a crayon brown liner at my inner corner. This is just how I prefer to do my eyeliner since actually the start of this year. I feel like this eyeliner suits me the most, so I just do tight line here, and also the lower area up until this little curve right here. And then I use black for the upper tight line. I just like to look down so I don't tug at my lids or anything. I've never done that. Make sure it's connected to the brown at the inner corner. I actually prefer this method because you don't cover up your eyeshadow with eyeliner because you're not placing it on your lash line or on your lid. This is like an invisible eyeliner. Then for my for the wing. If I want to do a wing, I actually prefer to do a brown one. So I've got brown here and brown out here, and then black for the tight line. Black, I feel like it looks a little too harsh in my inner corner, so I prefer to use brown for the wing as well. So that's all I'll do, just the wing, and I'll draw a very tiny line just to connect it to my lash line, but I don't draw it all the way across. I think you just have to accept that the wings are never going to be very like perfectly symmetrical, but try to hold your mirror like this so you can see the other eye, the angle and the direction that it's going in, so that you can get it as close as you can. And I like to put some at the lower lashes as well, just underneath the lashes, just the outer half. Next up would be mascara lips setting spray, but I like to do setting spray now. Just do your setting spray before mascara, just in case it starts to run. So I'm just using the e.l.f. Dewy Coconut. This works pretty well. Like in the summer, this is the first setting spray I've actually ever used in my life. I've just never used a setting spray before, and I wanted one from the drugstore. This works quite well. I used the primer, the Smashbox one that I showed you earlier, and then this, in the summer, I found that it holds quite well. You don't need to spray too much, but spray quite a bit. With your setting spray, your makeup is gonna look less like powdery, and it almost looks like all of it is melted almost in like one layer. Like it's like when you merge the layers on Photoshop. Definitely wait for your face to dry if you're gonna do mascara next. So I use L'Oreal Lash Paradise. I've been using this for so many years, and I always prefer to use volumizing mascaras rather than lengthening ones, because personally I like to emphasize my eyes this way rather than this way. Like I don't want them to look very doe-eyed and like very open like this, because whenever I do that, my eyes look kind of sunken in and I look kind of old. I feel like it doesn't suit my proportions either. So whatever suits your face. I mean, if you want a doe-eyed look, you might want to get like a lengthening mascara, and if you want more of like a foxy eye or like a lengthened eye kind of look, then you should do winged liner and a volumizing mascara. I just look down, I just hold my mirror like this, and I just look down and I just do 1 to 2 coats at most. And I like to wiggle my wand as well. One very, very important thing when it comes to mascara is make sure you actually brush the lashes in the direction, in like a specific direction. The inner lashes, point them this way. The middle lashes, point them upwards, like brush upwards, and then the outer lashes, brush them that way. It'll make your eye look more three-dimensional. I like to use the tip of my brush to brush the outer lashes that way, and then brush the inner lashes like towards the inside. For my lower lashes, because like I said earlier, I want my eyes to be emphasized this way rather than like doe-eyed, I have very long lower lashes. They're the same length as my upper lashes. So what I like to do is just apply the mascara at the root of the lash and not actually like all the way coating like the entire length of the hair. So just like this. And that's it, the eyes are complete. I absolutely love it. I need to do makeup like this way more often because I like to do a lot of like brown. Honestly, I do a lot of blue as well, but peach isn't something I wear a lot and I really love it. You can see the shimmer and the glitter at the top, shimmer at the inner corner, and a little bit of glitter at the lower lash line. I also really like the wings as well. I like that the wings aren't too dark. which they would be if I used a black liquid liner. I also have like freckles, like a freckle pen. I'm using the one from She Glam. Like, I have some spots that I'd like to emphasize. With glam makeup, I don't like to put a lot of freckles just because I feel it looks a little bit weird on me, but I'd love to, you know, try it. I'm just drawing the spots that I already have. And for like a beauty mark, I like to do one like over here. I like to do one like right there. Try not to make your beauty spot like too big or too small or too dark. So I just put it on and just tapped it once with my finger so that it doesn't look too big. Final step is lips. I always use chapstick. It's just the label's ripped off, sorry. Lip liner, I use Cork by MAC, of course, because it's perfect for like, if you're near my skin tone, it'll be perfect for you. It'll be like a nude, but just slightly darker. I'm going to emphasize the overlining. Overlining, I mean like by like 1 millimeter at the bottom center and the top center, and everywhere else I'm not going to overline as much. My two favorite lipsticks are these two, Velvet Teddy by MAC or Raw Chocolate by Maybelline. I think I'm going to use both of them today. This is just like an orangey kind of nude that's very close to, like, it's nude for me, and then you can compare the two. This one is a little bit more pink, this one is a little bit more orange or brown toned. For gloss, I actually have a lot of lip glosses. I like to use the Wet n Wild Zodiac ones are good. I have this one, which is Leo, which is just clear with gold glitter. Two of my favorite lip glosses, I would say, is Revlon Super Lustrous, the gloss in Rosy Future, or the NYX, this one. This is the Revlon one. Or the NYX Butter Gloss in Butterscotch. I'm gonna use the Revlon one today. It's got a slight pink color to it. So I'm all done with the look. So glittery, so shimmery. The shinier the makeup look is, the more I like it. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any other requests for like a makeup video that you want to see from me, let me know. I really hope you recreate this look because you're gonna feel like the hottest person ever. Thank you so much for watching and sticking until the end. If you're new, please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!